All we ever wanted was to belong. That is at the heart of the journey for everyone. That's why people even migrate. It's in search of home and a place to flourish as human beings. It's about leaving a place of pain and suffering and anguish and in search of where can I simply be. That's really what the journey was really about. I've often said the Ireland I left, it was a criminal offence to be gay. The America I and my lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender brothers and sisters arrived in was a place where you could be deported simply for being gay. We have all come a long way. I look at this film and I say, not only is the journey a personal one of the human heart, it's also a journey for families. And I see my beautiful, here I am with my spouse, Tom, which I had never imagined. Here I am with Jesus LeBron, who was the first to bring me to a family where he was out, where I saw his mother loving and accepting him. Here was this Bronx family who opened up to me the possibility of being out and open. And then also taught me that I shouldn't just care about apartheid, what's going on in South Africa, or the injustice in Belfast around the hunger strike. I needed to find voice for my own lesbian and gay brothers and sisters, and also to find my own voice for my own self, that it was okay to seek a place at the table of the human family. And forever, Jesus, I will be grateful for that beautiful gift that you gave me and your family have given me. I've never forgotten that. I never imagined when I met a friend from Dignity here, where I just went to Mass, that became a place where it said, you can be gay and you can be Catholic. We don't have to leave pieces of ourselves at the door. Bring the gift of it all. That's really what it's all about. And that's, of course, where I met Tom Moulton and my spouse, my beloved support, my soulmate, right through all of this journey. Tom has been there and said, you follow your heart, you live your dream. He often said to me, I'm living mine. You follow your vocation. You do what you need to do. You support me, I will support you. Can you imagine? I'm so glad you included that moment where in with the Cardinal. To say to the Cardinal, I am Brendan. I want to thank you for your hospitality. How strange to have to thank the leader of a Christian church for being hospitable, but it was huge that we were all stepping outside our comfort zones into an important place of welcome and hospitality. And above all, though, it's the activism as well of the city and the movement saying you can make a difference. Everyone has a role to play. And I'm so grateful for St. Pat's for All, which turned despair into hope, exclusion into hospitality, and then rolled up the sleeves and said, let's build. Let's speak about cultural, let's take hospitality onto the streets. And all of a sudden it just moved through the city. The spirit of hope and hospitality from the borough of Queens, an issue which went all the way to the Supreme Court, who said parades have the right to exclude whomsoever they wish. But in fact, what we were saying in Sunnyside was, yes, we understand that. We can exclude whomsoever we wish, and we are making speech. And our speech is, we are welcoming all. We are St. Pat's for All. I'm surprised. It was like a movement of resistance and beauty and welcome that was radical and gorgeous and beautiful, and everybody got it. As we rolled up the avenue with Jean Walsh and Alba and Anastasia Samosa, I remember Tom said to me, make sure you include children with disabilities who are often left out. And we said, who also in our city experiences unwelcome? Let us be the parade of welcome. And we did it year after year after year. What a beautiful movement we have created. So, just this past Sunday, in the Bronx, where we were arrested, you see, it's about going back to the place of pain and suffering and undoing it and restoring with our human capacity for tenderness. And that's what I love about our work and the city, and we have done it and we continue to do it. And Sheila, I often say, it's not just enough to tell the story. It's how you choose to tell the story. To see Turlough, I remember in 1991 being with Turlough and his mother, and you saw that photograph. I treasure that picture. Here's Turlough, the power of mothers in our movement. There's Turlough with his mother in the midst of homophobia and hate. The power of love, saying, it's okay, you can get through this. Love is a beautiful force. There was I being carried up that street with Robert Ryger, who died from AIDS in '94. Robert introduced us that day to his mother, Kathleen Ryger, and to his father, Stanley, who had played the music for us. How beautiful is that? The power and the force of love. I can't tell you, after I saw Jesus' mother accepting, embracing him, I said, I want to go home and have that too. I might have a master's degree from St. John's, but there's nothing like the basics, you know? And going home and feeling the courage. People in New York saying, you can do that. We call it in our movement coming out. How beautiful is it saying, you belong in the human family. You can be yourself. That's really what this is all, and doing it with joy and dance and rolling up the avenue and being with one another. And let me say, Kathleen Moyles Darcy, thank you for being a sister, a companion, a leader, a beautiful advocate, a great contributor to this movement, to now being chair, to staying with our cause, even in the midst of our humanity and struggles. You know, thank you for that. Danny Drum, I love you for that, and thank you. Danny Drum, Danny, I call you and turn to you with an idea. It's one thing to have an idea. It's another thing, woohoo, okay. You know, aspirations and ideas don't change the world. That's where things start. It's action. It's where you turn it into reality. As opposed to said, happy are those who dream dreams, but are ready to make the price to make them come true. I called Danny, called Ellen Duncan, and we met. And Danny said, let's do it. Danny had organized the Pride Parade and the movement in Queens. And Danny, every year after year after year, teaching full time, getting on with your life, carrying with, you know, you helped us get this parade and this movement going. When there was protesters outside your school, on our phones, sending messages, and we just kept going and going and going. Danny, thank you for being there. And of course, when I was stabbed as well, Danny was there. Danny would bring me to the hospital, and, you know, a friend, an activist. You know, I often say, this film is a story of love, friendship, and activism, and the capacity of tenderness to change the world. And I'm so proud of the organizers of the Fifth Avenue Parade who said, got on that phone and said, you are welcome. I remember a few of them whispered to me and said, I apologize that it took so long. Yes, you know, we could run that one, and I said, no, it doesn't matter. You know, the important is that we change and we get there, not for our sake, but for the sake of young people who are just coming out and saying, where do I belong? Am I loved? You know? And speaking of places where we're welcome, like, you know, Sheila, I could go around everyone in this room. John McDonough is over there. I remember saying at the beginning, will any media hear our story or let us be on the air? Very few media were really interested in us or extended a welcome. It was too weird and radical. John McDonough, you know, said, said, Brendan, you are welcome on the air of Radio Free Éireann. And of course, that first year, John said, not only are you welcome in the air, we are going to be part of that first St. Pat's for All parade, and we have a special guest, right, John? Grandpa Al Lewis, you know, walked up the avenue, and that began St. Pat's for All with a beautiful message. John, thank you for your welcome to us into your radio studio, and for WBI, which is such an expression of New York as well. I love this city, my home. I love this movement that I'm just privileged to be part of. And of course, I loved getting arrested with Turlough MacNeilis, who taught me not to be frightened, which I was. I was terrified being put in handcuffs. I was wondering, would I be deported? What would happen? And But with Turlough, who almost like Robert Royer, took me by the hand and said, start singing, you know? Always a song. He took that energy that he had taken from his home and from the streets of Belfast and shared it, you know? And so, of course, tomorrow we will be back on Fifth Avenue. If you hadn't registered, you still can. So you cheered it here, now it's up to you. We're all above ground. We've lost our friends during COVID. We're alive. We are here. It's up to us to carry on. We have to reach out more, just like Turlough did, who was an advocate for people with disabilities in the city who are still excluded and often not included, or looked down and as being strange. And, no. It's not saying you are part of our human family in our community. Everyone. We have to look to our elderly, people in wheelchairs. We have to make room for each other. If anything, I've often said, life is short. Let's not put off to tomorrow what we can do today. Tomorrow, I hope I see you on Fifth Avenue with our lavender and green Alliance banner. We're stepping off at 3 o'clock from 48th Street. Jesus has set up the website so you can register. But the main thing is, I thank each of you for the difference you have made in my life, for embracing me and accepting me and letting me be part of your movement. I've learned so much for each and every one of you. Thank you for how you've helped change my life. And Sheila Brosnan, as a storyteller, as a filmmaker, thank you for listening. And thank you for listening well and telling that story and weaving it together with emotion and feeling and a heart. That is a unique skill and gift. And I look forward to this film going out around the world.